Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, July 31st, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Texas Rangers versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, right fielder stud Adolis Garcia. And welcome to the Seattle Mariners. Welcome back, Eugenio Suarez. We are so excited. And again, I was excited for Randy Arozarena's debut with the Mariners. I was very excited with Ichiro playing his first game in a Seattle uniform. But this feels really special in 2025. Can't wait to be able to get into this matchup. And again, we're going to have a very good chance to make a deep run as long as we can stay healthy and the starting pitching starts to get a little bit more consistent. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Texas Rangers. Leading off for the Rangers at third base, Josh Smith. Batting second, playing shortstop, Corey Seager. Batting third, playing second base, Marcus Semien. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, right fielder, Adolis Garcia. Batting fifth, playing center field, Evan Carter. Batting sixth, playing left field, Wyatt Langford. Batting seventh, DHing for Texas, Jock Peterson. Welcome back to Seattle in the 8-hole, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. And batting ninth, catching today for the Rangers, Kyle Higashioka. And on the mound with a 4-4 record, an ERA of 5.73, Kumar Rocker. Now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners for the very first time, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And with JP's struggles as a leadoff hitter, obviously this isn't going to be like Victor Robles type of consistency, but I do like the switch up, and hopefully this will motivate JP, and we'll see how Randy does as a leadoff hitter for the first time. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, the best catcher in baseball, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth in his first game back to the Mariners from 2022 and the 2023 season, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Let's fucking go. Batting sixth, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for the Mariners, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, playing second base, is Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 5-5 record and ERA of 4.50, it is George Kirby.
And bringing you extra time in any of the four theme
with the move with Gino, obviously being added to the active roster. Ben Williamson ends up going to AAA, which I feel a little bad for him. But again, Gino is an upgrade, and we will see Ben on this team in the near future as a backup third baseman or as a DH individual, but he'll be able to get more reps in AAA for the Tacoma Rainiers. I wish him the best of success. And it also left an open spot to call back up Miles Mastroboni, probably our best bench player on the team. So if you actually look at the lineup, Buster Only, one of the MLB pundits, the experts, he thinks that if you look at our roster, that, if the pitching can get on point, that we might have the best team 1 through 9 and pitching staff in the American League. And we know the Yankees are good, but Aaron Judge is injured. The Tigers have been on a little bit of a slide after having a great record at the beginning of the year. We know the Astros and Blue Jays are still kicking ass and taking names. But again, if you add Victor Robles to this starting lineup, at the beginning of September, this is going to be one of the best starting lineups, not only in the American League, but overall in baseball. So very exciting to be able to see what is on tap and exciting to be able to get Naylor and obviously Gino from the Diamondbacks to join Seattle. And, again, we got the best hitting prospect last year in Randy Arozarena. This year we get 2 of the top 4, right, in Josh Naylor and then Eugenio Suarez. Pretty amazing stuff. And right now, Cal Raleigh and Eugenio Suarez are both in the top 4 in home runs with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. And again, you typically don't see 2 guys on the same team, with that many home runs. But definitely exciting. Bullpen needs a little bit of work, even though we ended up getting a lefty in the pen to give Gabe a little assistance. But again, starting pitching, let's be honest, it hasn't been very good lately. So we need to be able to step up in that category. And as long as we can stay healthy, I think good things can happen. Let's go, baby. First pitch from George Kirby to Josh Smith. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with that knuckle curve by Kirby to Smith. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. 1-1 pitch in play. And Smith grounds out to first, little flip, and that is 1 away. Next up is shortstop Corey Seager. Megan in the building, all day in the building. What's good, brother? Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Bob in the building. What's good? Mr. Smokes a lot in the building. What's good? Miles in the building. What's good? And Seager grounds out 2 away. Just kidding. Not happened yet, but I'm hoping. First pitch from Kirby to Seager. Fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Hopefully we get back-to-back little dribblers here. And again, pretty exciting. Randy, Cal, Julio, Naylor, Suarez, Polo, Dominic Canzone, JP, and Cole Young. And then when you get Victor Robles back, man, I mean, like I said, this is going to be an exciting team. Again, we just need the pitching, which is normally not an issue for us. Normally the pitching is the strong suit and the hitting is the problem in the bullpen. But now hitting is good, even though past the All-Star break, we have one of the lowest batting average, per team since the break. So we need to kind of ramp it up, and hopefully Naylor and Gino can give us that lift. But if we can just come together, with the pitching, the bullpen, and the hitting, and Dan Wilson knowing when to pull a guy and not keeping guys in too long, we might be able to make a deep run. We might be able to win the division. We might be able to go to the ALDS, ALCS, and who knows? Maybe this is the year for the World Series. Only time will tell. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Corey Seager. 3-1 pitch, and that is a 5-pitch walk. Come on, baby. We can't have too many walks here from George Kirby. We need, we know that you had a no-hitter through 5 innings in your last start. Then you gave up 5 hits in a row for 4 runs, no home runs, and then we lost. We just need a little bit of consistency from our aces. Next up is Marcus Semien. Hopefully we can get a slow dribbler up the middle to JP for a double play to Naylor. We'll see what we get here. First pitch from Kirby to Semien. Fouls it off low and at the knees. No balls and 1 strike with a runner at first. Top of the first inning, Rangers and Mariners knotted up here at 0 early. Judah in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Semien. And again, I'm always listening to, all of the beat writers and all of the people that travel with the team. So when they were, obviously in Sacramento last night, obviously the Diamondbacks were going to play them, but they were waiting on the plane last night. and it was delayed for about 30 minutes, and they didn't know what was going on, if they were refueling or waiting on somebody. 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled off, behind in the count now 0-2. But secretly, Gino was going to fly home with the team, but they didn't tell anybody. So Gino got his family, and they took a little bit of time to kind of get everyone on the plane. But one cool thing is that when Gino got on the plane, he literally went up to every single person, every single player, every single coach, every single assistant, gave him a big hug. And that's the type of vibes that we're looking for. Gino is loved, and this could be the spark, that gets us closer to the Astros and to make a deep run. I'm very excited. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Simeon. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees, low and away with that slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Simeon. But again, I wouldn't expect anything less from Gino. The guy is a class act. He's going to give you good vibes, just like Victor Robles, and his bat has got the power. The only downside to Gino, he's not as good as a defender at third as he was when he was on the Mariners a couple years ago. But with that being said, I still think he'll be able to make enough plays to be efficient. 3-1 pitch. That one's fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 0-0 score here early, between the Rangers and the Mariners. Simeon in the box. George Kirby on the mound. Lauren in the building. What's good? Appreciate that, Judah. And 3-2 pitch, and Simeon grounds out into the double play. Like I said, you ask for it, and then you get it. There we go. I love it. Go to the bottom of the first inning, and let's get into our starting lineup. Great defense there by the Mariners. And again, I feel like by adding Naylor and Gino, again, this is going to be probably the most excitement and the most hype that we have had in quite some time. And again, we've only had a few good years in the last 40. 95, 97, 2001, and 2022 with Cal's walk-off against the Athletics. But I do believe from 2022 to 2042, in that 20-year span, we should have 12 or 13 playoff teams. And out of those 12 or 13 playoff teams in 20 years, we should be able to make a deep run at least a couple times. And who's to say that it's not this year? I know pitching needs to get better. The bullpen needs to get better. But once Victor Robles gets healthy and we can get on a kind of a rhythm, it's going to be tough to be able to beat us if the pitching gets on point, the bullpen plays better, and this is a big what if, right? But obviously, if you look at the lineup 1 through 9, it's one of the most dangerous in the American League, and then you add Victor Robles to that, potential list, man, it's going to be uber scary. Leading off for the Mariners for the very first time, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And obviously with JP's struggles early, I like the move. And normally I'm criticizing Dan Wilson on putting in the wrong guy, Carlos Vargas, or keeping a guy in a little bit too long, like one of our starters. But again, you could have put Julio, at the leadoff, position. He's familiar with, being a leadoff hitter once in a while. But again, this is kind of a nice little, switch up. And again, if Randy ends up, going 0 for 4, 0 for 5, then you can always move Julio to the leadoff spot until maybe JP Crawford feels a little bit more comfortable. And then Victor Robles should be good to go around the first week of September, as long as he doesn't have any setbacks, and that's our true leadoff hitter. Randy Arozarena in the box, Cal Raleigh on deck, Julio Rodriguez batting third, and you can pretty much mix and match any of the first 3, guys in the lineup besides having Cal lead off. You wouldn't have that, but, you could have Randy, you could have Julio, you could have Naylor, Polo, Cole, JP, Dominic Canzo. I mean, you could have a number of guys and experiment, but we'll see where things go here today. First pitch from Kumar Rocker to Randy Arozarena, low and away with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. And with Kumar Rocker, 4-4 record with an ERA of 5.73. So we should be able to do some damage here early. 2-0 pitch, low and away with the cutter. 3 balls and no strikes from Rocker to Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. 3-0 pitch, and there's a walk, and we'll take that. That's a very successful start. And, if that was J.P. Crawford, maybe that ends up turning into an out if he ends up being a little overly aggressive. And hopefully Naylor will be able to learn, from Julio, believe it or not, from being overly aggressive and working the count. We've seen Naylor chase a little bit too much early on, even though he's gotten a base hit on almost every game. Next up here is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, and we're looking for home run number 42 tonight. Trident's up. First pitch from Kumar Rocker to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. City Connects looking beautiful out there in Seattle here today. And again, like out of all players that have ever been on the Mariners, I think this is probably the number one guy, that was on the team and no one wanted to see him go. The management and ownership got cheap and they wanted to be able to make room in their salary for others, but they should have never, ever let Gino go. And I think the only other guy that I really wanted back after we let him go was maybe Adam Jones for the Orioles. Once he went to the Orioles, he turned into an all-star. But again, I have more feelings for Gino than I do Adam Jones back in the day, just because Gino is a two-way player, offense and defense, but it's also how the teammates react to, his overall vibe. And it's always good vibes only. Not to say Adam Jones didn't have good vibes, but Gino is a very special player and obviously definitely a good home run hitter this year. And he started to rake last year as well. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Big Dumper. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Yeah, and again, they could have went with Randy or Julio. That probably would have been the guys that were, the most, you would suspect, right? Julio would be the most, people's first choice. But if it's not JP, and Raleigh grounds out to a fielder's choice, and that is 1 away. But again, I kind of like the idea of Randy leading off. I mean, give it a try. See how it works out. Maybe it'll be something that sticks until Robles is healthy. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. And again, you need to experiment in baseball, especially when you got a lot of teams that, really don't. So you want to be able to kind of, test the waters before the playoffs. And again, it's going to come down, to the Astros and Mariners. Rangers are in the mix too. Obviously, they have a similar record to the Mariners, right? So we know that they are going to be in the mix as well. But, at some point we should be able to pull away, you would think. First pitch is high and inside by Kumar Rocker to Julio, 1-0 count. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. And 1 out. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Rangers. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let's go Julio. 1-1 pitch. In play and lines out to center. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners is first baseman Josh Naylor. Just be a little patient in the box, my guy. I mean, he seems he's got a little bit of that Julio syndrome where he's swinging at pretty much everything, no matter where the location is. And if pitchers start figuring out that they can throw it anywhere, inside, outside, garbage within the first 2 pitches and get an 0-2 count, that's a huge advantage. For, the pitchers. First pitch from Rocker to Naylor, throws garbage, low and away, and believe it or not, Naylor stays pat and doesn't swing. Good job. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, but it is in the zone. That was a good one to swing at. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 out. You just need to see a little bit of patience at a Naylor, and that could be the difference between him, getting to a certain amount of home runs and RBIs or not. And we're going to need him to be able to maximize his potential. And it's nice to be able to have teammates with him and Gino. They know each other very well, and I know they'll feed off each other at first and third. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. That's another swing that normally that Naylor would have got baited on in previous games and decides not to swing there. I like what I'm seeing here early. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Naylor in the box. Kumar Rocker on the mound. Bring that electricity, Josh. Let's go, baby. Zay in the building. What's good? 2-1 pitch. That one is fouled off, low and in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 0-0 here early between the Rangers and the Mariners. But definitely an exciting day today, for a lot of us Mariner fans. And some Mariner fans are going to be relatively new to this, a fan of maybe 5 to 10 years. But there's going to be quite a few of us that have been fans for 20, 30, 40 years or longer. And again, it's not like we've had great teams all the time, but the hype feels warranted. And again, I'm very excited to see where this goes. We just need the pitching to stay, consistent. And obviously it hasn't been lately. We've had issues with starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting. We got to turn it around. And down goes Naylor for out number 3. End of the first inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Next up for the Rangers here in the top of the second inning, leading off is Adolis Garcia. Batting second, center fielder Evan Carter. And batting third in the 6-hole, left fielder Wyatt Langford. George Kirby on the mound. 5-5 record, ERA of 4.50. And, as long as he doesn't have a meltdown like he did last time, and again, all the pitchers, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and Logan Evans all had meltdowns recently. And really the only guy that has avoided a meltdown recently is Luis Castillo. So hopefully Luis will be good, on his next start. And hopefully the other pitchers, can have that consistency, because again, if we want to be able to catch up to the Stros and really show that we can compete with the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, Red Sox, Tigers, that we could do it, and there's a lot of parity, it feels like, in the American League. And again, it's kind of weird to say that the Mariners, are World Series contenders, but it is true. We are, based on the moves and based on our pitching staff, things have not been perfect. We've had injuries for the first time to our pitching staff. The starters have been questionable at some point instead of electric almost the whole year. Hitting used to be shitty, but now it's good. And now we're making moves. Bullpen, usually is average to below average. And again, it's been kind of up and down, throughout the year. Sometimes good, sometimes fucking terrible. And again, if we can just put all the pieces together, something special could not only happen this year, but it also could happen, for the next few years. And that definitely gets a lot of Mariner fans excited, considering we've only had a few good years in the last 40. Top of the second inning, Kirby on the mound, Garcia in the box. I actually like the idea of starting Randy at leadoff over JP. JP, wasn't really doing shit for us for a while. And I don't want to blame the losses on JP because it's a team effort. But again, when you don't get anything out of your leadoff hitter, again, it definitely puts you in kind of a negative, kind of mindset, because it's like you want him to be able to get some hits and kind of set the tone early. And if you go over and over and over with 0 for 2 starts in games or 0 for 4, 0 for 5, you're not helping the team win. And again, Victor Robles is a better leadoff hitter, but he's not available yet. But at some point, we will be able to have him there. And then when we do, we'll probably have the best 1 through 9 lineup in baseball, not just in the American League, but overall. 2-0 pitch. High and away, 3 balls and no strikes to Adolis Garcia. I mean, we're still going to need, the guys to be able to, deliver and produce. But just on paper, if you're looking at the names, it's pretty exciting. The team looks much different than it did a couple years ago. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking inside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Adolis Garcia. But I do like the organization of the lineup today by giving Randy a try. Normally when it's not JP Crawford or Victor Robles, it's typically Julio that leads off. But I think it's better to have Julio hit deeper in the lineup to kind of help out Naylor and some of the others. So I don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing with Randy leading off. I think this is just a test run. But so far, he got a 4-pitch walk to start off. So far, so good. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Adolis Garcia. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and flied out to Dominic Canzone. There we go. Good D by Dom. One away. Down goes Garcia. Next up is center fielder Evan Carter. First pitch from George Kirby to Carter. High and away with a four-seam fastball. 1-0 count. Let's go, George. There we go, baby. 41 likes, 9 more to get to the halfway point. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Carter. Anna in the building, what's good? Yeah, but I feel like the positive vibes, that Gino brings, and even if Gino's stats weren't as great as they are, it would still be exciting that he's back with the team. And just the simple fact that he's been killing it makes it even more exciting that we know that we're going to have a chance with him and Cal, hitting those big home runs for us, at the beginning of games and also late. 1-1 pitch in play and lines out to Julio Rodriguez for out number 2. No fly zone has been busy. Let's go, baby. 2 away. Next up for the Rangers in the 6th hole, left fielder Wyatt Langford. First pitch from Kirby to Langford. Takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 0-1 count. Come on, Kirby. Keep wheeling and dealing. We don't want to have any meltdowns. Can't afford to have meltdowns now with Gino in the lineup. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Kirby painting the corner, but missing the strike zone to that ump by inches. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Langford. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. But I don't know if I've had this much excitement, since maybe last year with, Randy and having his debut. Obviously, Ichiro's debut was really electric, but again, getting Naylor and getting, Eugenio Suarez back with the team, 2 of the top 4, that were in, the free agency, trade deadline period, so to speak. That's pretty amazing. And we ended up getting the best bat last year in Arozarena. So, and on top of that, we didn't even give up any of the top guys. We gave up Tyler Locklear, Burgos, and another individual. But you got to really commend and applaud. And I know it's kind of crazy to say, but with ownership and Dipoto, normally we're criticizing them and we're only winning 54% of the games and they're not making moves and they're just trying to profit like, Jerry Jones, and they don't care. You can tell in the last couple of years, things have flipped. And again, they do care and they do, try to maximize, the needs of this team. And obviously Cal signing the deal that he did, this was a part of it, that if we come into a point where we can, potentially make a playoff run, you have to sign guys. And they kept their word. So, and again, not only that, we still got Harry Ford. We still got Lazaro Montes. We still got all our good players. The only good player that we gave up was Tyler Locklear, who was, kind of a baby Ty France, but obviously with what we have with Naylor right now, no big deal. So we're okay right now. And Langford popped up and flies out to center. Julio and Dominic Canzone busy out there in center field. And that is out number 3. Let's go. Here we go, baby. Leading off here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Welcome back. One of my favorites of all time on this team, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Can't wait. Batting second in the 6th hole, DHing Jorge Polanco. And batting third, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Kumar Walker on the mound. Gino approaching the box. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. And if we can hit that number, we'll go to 125. And obviously, we're shooting for 100 on the Dono train. Gained a sub already, which is great. Shout out to all the new subs that we've been acquiring lately. 64 subs to go to 21,300. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And I will tell you this, I didn't have any Gino thumbnail images already, sitting in the bucket since it's been a couple years. And it literally took me almost an hour to get 2 different images. And one was obviously better than the other, the one that I ended up using. The other one I had to like zoom in to make him and Adolis Garcia like really big, like big head on the thumb, like almost too big where it looks a little unnatural. So I decided to keep working hard and, going through many, many images. And, it's not as easy as people think, making a thumbnail and getting an image. It's not like, you just have your program, you get your photo, and then boom, the background just disappears. You have to be able to adjust and zoom in and zoom out and kind of maneuver, what you want, cropped out. And I think it turned out pretty good. We'll be using that one in the future as well. First pitch from Kumar Rocker to Eugenio Suarez as he gets a standing O. Makes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Big standing ovation for Gino. Well deserved. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off, right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Suarez. And Gino's one of those guys you're never going to hear anybody have anything negative to say about him on the field or, in the clubhouse or in the dugout. Every single, team that he's been to, every fan base absolutely loves him, and regardless if he's hitting, a crazy amount of home runs or not, but again, defense will be an issue to kind of monitor because it has gone down slightly since we had him on our team. But, I think that, it should be good enough, especially with the, big bat that he brings at third now. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the slider by Rocker. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 1-2 pitch and big swing and a miss. Down goes Gino, and that is 1 away. And Gino's going to strike out just like everyone else on the team. And hopefully he'll at least be able to get a hit, in his debut game back with the team. And, you never know. It might end up being into a home run as well. Cal with 41, Shohei with 38, Judge with 37, Schwarber with 37, and Gino with 36. Good vibes only. I know you're going to be able to get a hit before the game is over, my guy. Next up in the 6 hole, Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Rocker to Polo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. And we're going to need a couple home runs. We need home runs to be able to compete. We're not going to be able to get, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits with no home runs and think that we're going to be able to win. We have to get a couple, and about 50% of the runs total are home runs for the Seattle Mariner team in 2025. So essentially that means when we homer, when we win, when we get, 2 to 4 home runs and the pitching is decent, we're hard to beat. But when we don't hit any home runs or one and it's just a solo dinger, you better hope that those RBIs are there too, or we're in trouble. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Bring that electricity, baby. One-two pitch, low and away, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Polo. And just imagine, if we can get a good version of Bryce Miller and Victor Robles and add them to this team, again, we're going to be scary. It's still going to be hard, going against the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, or the Tigers in the playoffs, if we get there, but I feel that if we can just find that rhythm, we're going to have just as good of a chance as any of those teams to make a deep run. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Polo. 2-2 pitch, fouls it off high and inside with the 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 here early in the bottom of the second between the Rangers and the Mariners. And, there's a few pundits, experts that have been on MLB Network like Buster Olney, and he thinks that the Mariners have the best team, with grabbing Gino and Naylor at the deadline. He thinks that we have the best team in the American League. And those are pretty bold words for someone that actually knows baseball inside and out and is a credible individual that actually watches games, and watches film and reads the articles and mingles with the players. So that's kind of a cool thing for, people that are on that stage to give the Mariners a little bit of love. And, we don't really get a whole lot of that normally. 3-2 pitch, and Polo with a walk. Here we go. Couple of walks early, one for Polo and one for Randy in the first, but we need to be able to bring them home. Next up is right fielder Dominic Canzone. And Dom, we need a bomb. You are overdue. And again, if Dom can connect, that would be huge. And hopefully with JP in the 8 hole, that will help Cole Young in the 9 hole. Ben Williamson is in AAA. Obviously had to make room, but we did bring back Miles Mastroboni, and that's going to be a key bench piece that we can implement here and there. And again, I didn't really feel good of Mastroboni getting sent down a few days back, so I'm really happy he's on the team. And again, I would love to have Ben on the team as well, so he can continue to develop and whatnot. But again, he'll get more play at, the Tacoma Rainiers with all these new additions that we've had, so we can keep him, progressing offensively. And we already know he's a defensive guru at third. We just need him to get better, with the bat. And hopefully he'll be able to, do that in AAA, get him some more reps. And it's not crazy to think if there's an injury here or there that they may call him back up. Since Luke Raley's on the IL as well, they're going to be maneuvering the roster week in and week out. 1-1 pitch, takes the strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Canzone. Come on, Dom. Bring that electricity, baby. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away with a cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 0-0 here early in the bottom of the second. One-two pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Rocker on the mound, Canzone in the box. Come on, Dom. One-two pitch, fouled off again, right down the middle, low and in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. And that's 3 consecutive foul balls off 3 consecutive cutters by Rocker, but you're not fooling Dom. And that last one off that foul pole, if the wind was blowing in the opposite direction, that could have been something big. In play, and Canzone grounds out to the shortstop. Polo to second, safe. 2 away. At least the runner got to advance to go to second there, with all things considered. All right, JP, you've been the leadoff hitter. You've been the 9-hole hitter when you got demoted for Victor Robles, and I know that affected you mentally and physically. I know you're a new father, and I know there's an adjustment period, with everything. But let's see if we can get some singles and doubles and maybe an off once in a blue moon home run in this series. JP is capable. You just got to be able to put it together. And even bunting could be something that could help JP get off this little slump that he's been in. And again, it's like, he'll be a guy that goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5 for multiple games, or he'll be a guy that gives you 15 games in a row with a hit. But there's not really an in-between. So either really hot or really not, but hopefully we can get him hot again. First pitch to JP Crawford from Rocker. Fouls it off right down the middle. Good pitch to swing out there for JP. 0-1 count. Come on, JP. Bring that electricity, baby. I know it's in you. Let him know, baby. Let's go. 0-1 pitch. High and away with the cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Work the count. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Rocker on the mound. JP in the box. 1-2 pitch. High and away. Changeup missing by about 4 feet there by Rocker. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. 2-2 pitch, and down goes JP Crawford for out number 3. And again, struggles, have been an issue. Him as a leadoff hitter as of late, but, maybe being down in the order. It really depends on how he approaches it. If he takes it as a demotion, then we may end up seeing JP continue to struggle. But at some point, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you got to be able to get back into the groove. And again, we got Gino, we got Naylor, and we need JP to be that guy, that's going to be, an asset, not a liability. And hopefully he'll be able to get off the schneid and get at least a hit today. But he doesn't get it there. End of the second inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the third for the Rangers. Next up for the Rangers, DHing in the 7-hole, Jock Peterson. Batting second, welcome back to Seattle, big black first baseman, the former Seattle Mariner, Rowdy Tellez. And batting third, catcher in the 9-hole, Kyle Higashioka. Trident's up, let's go M's. Yeah, and I think putting him in the 8 spot was smart because normally he'd either play the 1 or the 9. But if he's been struggling and we end up starting an inning 9-1-2 or 8-9-1 in the order, we want to make sure that JP's been, in the best position to help the team. And again, if we end up having, him and then Randy and Cal, we want to be able to hope that someone in that 9-hole can do something. And also, it's not like Cole Young, is going to be getting a bunch of hits, but, it seems like he's a little bit more confident in his abilities, a little bit better of a hitter than Ben Williamson and JP as of late, has won us a few games, with key RBI singles, but still has a long ways to go. But we know Cole, can improve on the defense, but hopefully the bat will come alive here today. First pitch from George Kirby to Jock Peterson. Takes a strike swinging, high and in the zone, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. Nice pitch there by George Kirby, painting the corner beautifully with the 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Peterson. Oh-2 pitch, knuckle curve, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 0-0 here early in the top of the third. 1-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jock Peterson. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. That should have been strike 3, but again, we get ripped off again on another strike 3 call. I mean, at some point, I get it if we're on the road and then the road umps are going to go against us. But when we're at home, come on, man. If it's in the box, it should be strike 3. Don't call that a fucking ball, especially when that could be an out. We want our pitchers to get confidence, not to get pissed off and then lose their confidence and swagger and ability. Three-two pitch and a strike 3 call that doesn't get called, turns into a fucking 7-pitch walk. Bullshit. And like I said, especially when you end up having strike 3 and you don't get it, it typically ends up leading to a hit or a home run or a walk or a plunk a few pitches later. And there goes Jock to first, where he should have got punched out. And hopefully the ump will be better moving forward, but hold your breath. Next up is first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Welcome back to Seattle. I think we all enjoyed his presence, on the team when he was here. It's going to be a lot of strikeouts and a lot of home runs, but not a whole lot of in between. And, we're kind of known for getting guys like that. Jared Vogelback, Carlos Santana. We like the guys that are a little bit thicker and big and whatnot. Mike Ford. And again, it just, was more of a rental. First pitch, and there he is, Rowdy Tellez on George Kirby. A nice single to left. Runners at first and second. Rangers are threatening here with no outs. Nice job by Rowdy. Looking pretty thick in that jersey, my guy. Next up is catcher Kyle Higashioka. And we need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. But again, if it's going to be like on the line, I'm not going to bitch or really moan about any of those. It's just going to be the ones that are in the box and they are called ball blatantly when it should have been a strike. And when those end up not being strike three and then the inning continues, usually bad shit happens because Cal's frustrated, George is frustrated, and we know how the umps are. I mean, we need the ABS, we need some assistance. First pitch from Kirby to Higashioka, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. At the game, there was a few claps and a few cheers for him, which there should be, but obviously he's on enemy lines now. So again, it's like, if he was in the National League, maybe the reception would be a little bit warmer. But when you're in a game against a divisional rival and you join the enemy, there's only going to be so many people that are clapping. 0-1 pitch, and Higashioka luckily fouls out to third, one away. Now we need a double play here to get out of the inning. Absolutely 150% we had the best deadline of any team, considering we ended up getting two of the top four guys that were available in Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, and then we ended up getting, obviously a guy from the pen, from the Pirates as well, a lefty, so... Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates, who is a vet, so we'll see how he does with the team. And I imagine they're just going to use him situationally. First pitch from Kirby to Josh Smith, fouls that one off, right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and away, no balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Smith. Come on, George. Kirby on the mound, Josh Smith in the box. 0-2 pitch, fouls that one off, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 0-0 here in the top of the third. Rangers are threatening. We need to get out of this jam. Let them know. We're still looking for our first dono on the dono train, and we have quite a few people in the room. We're trying to hit 100 likes and 100 on the dono train, so if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. It really does help out with the metrics and the analytics, and when they see that, it'll help get recommendations for people that are looking for Mariners, Rangers, or just an MLB game. But everything that anybody does, it definitely will support the channel and help. Liking, sharing, donating, commenting, subbing, all of that matters. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Smith. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Smith. Come on, baby. Smith in the box. George Kirby on the mound. Come on, George. We can't afford a walk here. We already got runners at first and second with 1 out. 3-2 pitch. That one's fouled off high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Smith. Where are we at on the likes right now all day? With 150 in the room, we should be at like 50 to 75 by now, or close to that. 3-2 pitch, fouled off again, right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Top of the third inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. 60, there we go. Great job all day. And again, the best part, about you being kind of like the right-hand man and the lead is like, I didn't even really have to coach you up on what to do or what to say. You're very observant. And again, you've gone even above and beyond to even some of the others that have tried, doing that position with Sarah and Matt. So I really do appreciate all the effort that you're putting in, and everything that you do is being noticed, not only by me, but the others in the room. Appreciate you. And there he goes. And that is out number 2. Big swing and a miss and a big punch out there. Golly, we needed that. Down goes Josh Smith. Big swing and a miss. Nice job by George. And we need a little bit more of that. 2 away. Next up for George Kirby, a dangerous hitter in the 2-hole, shortstop Corey Seager. Now we got a mound visit with JP and Cal Raleigh, trying to get everyone in the right position. The Houston Astros got Carlos Correa back with Jesus Sanchez, so they've improved their team pretty dramatically, trying to copy us with Gino coming home. Correa is coming home, and he'll definitely be an impact player for the Astros, since they've had injuries to Pena, Yordan Alvarez, and they don't have Bregman or Tucker anymore. So that's not ideal for us, but I love the rivalry. Correa is an intelligent hitter, and again, it's going to make that rivalry even more heated with us. Rangers got Merrill Kelly and a few others, Maton and Danny Colomba. And then the A's traded away Mason Miller, JP Sears of the Padres. Why the hell would you do that? I know that you're not going to the playoffs this year, but why would you get rid of JP Sears and especially Mason Miller, one of the best closers in the game? That's wild. They ended up getting a good prospect in return for those two on the Athletics, but I don't know if I would have gotten rid of one of the top 10 closers in the game that pitches, 100 to 103 on a consistent basis, but I guess that's what the Athletics wanted. 0-1 pitch. That one is fouled off, low and in the zone. No balls and 2 strikes to Corey Seager, but we definitely ended up being the number 1 team, in the trade deadline period. And again, number 1 farm. We didn't give up any of our good players except for Tyler Locklear, which, again, didn't even get called up this year. It was kind of like a baby Ty France, but again, since we have Naylor, it doesn't matter. And then we even have Solano behind him, so we're good. But, all the big names, the top 10 are still there. So a great job by Dipoto and company. Didn't think I'd ever say that. And that is strike 3. Big punch out there by George Kirby. Having runners at first and second and being able to get out of that jam on Seager. See ya. Way to bring the electricity, George. And if this was earlier in the year, maybe the score is already 3-0 Rangers. So way to get out of the jam. Beautiful timeout by Cal Raleigh to get him on the same page. And that's a big reason why, we do better with Cal rather than Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver doesn't really have the understanding on when to be like the second coach and call timeout, and to be able to regain the composure and confidence of the pitchers. And, it's just nice that when we have Cal, catching, that we can get better results. Yeah, I figured for sure we would be giving up Harry Ford and then like 2 other players. And so to be able to pretty much give up nothing for Naylor and nothing for Gino, that's going to affect us short-term or long-term, is pretty fucking wild. And the fact that Harry Ford is still there, which would mean that at some point Garver will be gone, Castillo at some point will be gone. Some of these other guys, Dylan Moore, Solano, in a few years, a lot of those guys that are kind of weak links will be off the team. And then we'll have a nice blend of young OGs as well as veterans. And then we're going to be waiting for Durangelo, to be able to be ready, as well as Cade Anderson. And then one day we're going to have Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Durangelo pitching from the left side and the right side, and Cade Anderson. And when that fucking happens, we'll probably have the best pitching staff in baseball overall, number 1, even though we're normally top 3 with like the Dodgers and the Phillies year in and year out usually. So definitely exciting, to see where the future is going with this team. And hopefully we'll be able to get a RBI or a run here in the bottom of the 3rd. Leading off for the Mariners in the 9-hole, Cole Young. Batting second with a 4-pitch walk, leading off for the very first time, Randy Arozarena. And batting third is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're looking for home run number 42 tonight. Let's go. Trident's up. First pitch from Rocker to Young, low and away, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, high and away with the changeup. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the third, 0-0 Rangers and Mariners. Two 0 pitch, fouls that one off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rocker to Young. Bottom of the third inning, Rocker on the mound, Young in the box. 2-1 pitch in play, and Young lines out to left, 1 away. Next up for Kumar Rocker with his 4-4 record, ERA of 5.73 coming into the game, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. First pitch in play, and Randy with a single. And this experiment of having Randy Arozarena being our leadoff hitter for the very first time, working pretty good. He ended up having a 4-pitch walk and then in his first at bat, and then a single right up the middle. When's the last time we've seen Randy go 2 for 2 early? It's been a minute. Nice job by Randy. Maybe he's our new leadoff hitter moving forward on this playoff push. I like it. I'd rather have him than Julio lead off, so let's keep it going. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch from Kumar Rocker to big dumper. Low and on the line, 1-0 count. And that one could have been called ball or strike. We're going to see how this ump progresses with this at-bat with big dumper. 1-0 pitch, low and in the zone, right on the line. Could be ball or strike, but calls it ball. 2 balls and no strikes from Rocker to Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Peter in the building. What's good? 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rocker to big dumper. And that could have been strike 3, if they would have called those first 2 pitches on the line strike. But I'm going to have to monitor this ump. And obviously the A's umps were terrible. The Yankees umps were the worst of all year. And again, hopefully these umps calling this game here at T-Mobile won't be as bad as what we've seen in those series. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 2-1 pitch, fouls it off high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Kumar Rocker. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Raleigh. Let's go, baby. 67 likes, 33 more to go. And once we hit those 33, I think we should be able to get to 125 to 150 likes tonight, based on what we got here. Shout out to all the people watching from all across the globe. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0 Rangers and Mariners. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. I know someone will step up and show some love. Once we get 1, that'll turn into 2, and then that'll turn into 3. Two-two pitch. And grounded out to a fielder's choice, and that is 2 away. All right, next up is Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Cal was really hot in the first half of the season. Now Julio has stepped up. But now we need, Cal to get back to being the player that he was in the first half of the season. And, slowly but surely, hopefully he'll be able to get there. Let's go, Julio. First pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and away. Normally a pitch that he doesn't swing on, but at that point he does. 0-1 count. Be patient, my guy. Don't get the Josh Naylor syndrome, which you had early in the year. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees.
1 ball and 1 strike from Rocker to Julio. Rocker on the mound, Julio Rodriguez in the box. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Julio. 1-2 pitch. Fouls off, high and away with the 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Kumar Rocker. Bottom of the 3rd inning, we're knotted up at 0, and Eugenio Suarez debut game back and coming back to the Seattle Mariners after being on our team in 2022 and 2023. I know Diamondback fans are going to be missing Naylor and Gino tremendously.
Right now,
1-2 pitch in play, and Rodriguez grounds out to the shortstop, and that is out number 3.
We can see you.
Not a whole lot going on so far here early.
Always delicious. Hormel pepperoni, boldly irresistible.
But something's got to give. All right, let's see who's up next here in the top of the 4th for the Texas Rangers. Next up for the Rangers, 0 for 1 in the 3-hole, second baseman Marcus Semien. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder Adolis Garcia. And batting third, center fielder Evan Carter. Trident's up, let's go M's. And based on, the likes and the views and the subs and the support that we end up getting today and tomorrow, that'll determine if we end up doing the games on Saturday and Sunday or if I do SummerSlam. So keep that in mind. And again, the Mariners are going to be playing at 1:10 Pacific on Saturday and Sunday. And I believe SummerSlam starts at 4 p.m. So I might be able to do both events on Saturday and Sunday, but we really don't know how long the Mariner games are going to be. Sometimes they're 2 hours and 30 minutes to 3 hours, and sometimes they're closer to 4 hours. So, I'll definitely talk with a few of the wrestling individuals that come through typically once a month to see if they're going to be available. And, I've already made thumbnails for all 4 games already in advance, but I'll have to be able to look at the numbers for today and tomorrow, and that will determine what we end up doing on Saturday and Sunday. Mariners, Rangers, SummerSlam, or both. End of the 3rd inning, 0-0, Mariners and Rangers. Trident's up, let's go M's. First pitch from George Kirby to Marcus Semien. Takes a strike looking high and in the zone, 0-1 count. Come on, George. And again, this is a much better outing, but we still have a few more innings to go. He had a no-hitter in his last start through 5 innings and then gave up 5 consecutive hits in a row for 4 runs, and then we lost. So we'll see where it goes here, but so far so good for Kirby. 0-1 pitch in play and flied out to center. Julio is there, as well as the other Seattle Mariner defenders. 1 away. What a sliding catch by Julio Rodriguez. Unbelievable. Wow. That was an insane catch there by Julio. No fly zone, baby. Nice job, J-Rod. Keep playing that great defense out there. Next up is right fielder Adolis Garcia, 0 for 1. First pitch from Kirby to Garcia. Takes a strike swinging high and inside, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch in play and fouled out to first, and that is 2 away. Down goes Garcia. Next up is center fielder Evan Carter. First pitch from Kirby to Carter. High and away with a sinker, 96 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Come on, George. Top of the fourth inning, 0-0, Rangers and Mariners. And again, we need to try to win 3 out of 4. You know, again, realistically, we'll probably split. But again, if we can win the first couple games, we will have a chance to win 3 out of 4. If we win the first 3, then obviously we'll have a chance for the brooms and the sweep. And sweeping the Rangers could be big, you know, as far as momentum is concerned, you know, moving forward. But it'll be tough. But the bats need to start, producing. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kirby to Carter. 2-1 pitch. Fouls that one off low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Carter. .84, 16 more to go. We have about half of the people in the room that have hit the like button so far. We can get a few more of those individuals to hit that like button. We'll be at the goal. So if you haven't hit that like button yet, do your boy a solid. It'll help with the metrics and the analytics. That's why, you know, we ask, so that way we can get more people, potentially more subs, more views, more people to support the channel. 2-2 pitch. And knuckle curve.
With an option like Plan
low
B,
and away.
we're in control.
Plan B
3-2 pitch and got him. There we go for out number 3. Nice job by George Kirby there.
It won't impact your future fertility, and it's safe to take anytime you need it.
Together, we've got this.
Good job, George. Keep wheeling and dealing. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 4th. Well, we're still knotted up at 0. Let's get on the board. Let's get a home run. Let's get a hit. Let's get an RBI. Let's go. But a great punch out there for out number 3 for George. 1 hitter so far for Kumar Rocker and George Kirby. Leading off for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman Josh Naylor. Batting second, third baseman in the 5-hole, welcome back, Eugenio Suarez. And batting third, DHing in the 6-hole, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, Jorge Polanco. $12 more likes to get to a hundo. Let's get there, baby. And we've been getting a lot of people coming through. We've gained quite a few subs as well. 5 more subs that we just added. 59 to go to hit the goal. Or 21,300. Shout out to all the new subs that we've gotten so far. Appreciate you guys very, very much. We had over 5,000 regular viewers, coming through, and that's growing every day. Every age gap is being covered, 13 to 17, all the way to 65 and up, plus everything in between. Female support has gone from 5% to 15%. And then we got so many countries that are involved with us here, which is great to see. United States, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Venezuela, Japan, Canada, Philippines, Nicaragua, Taiwan, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, Australia, and many others. If you're watching from one of those, I appreciate you. First pitch from Rocker to Naylor, low and at the knees with a cutter, 1-0 count. Naylor in the box, Kumar Rocker on the mound. 1-0 pitch, sinker, low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes from Rocker to Naylor. Come on, Josh. Two-0 pitch, fouls that one off, right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rocker to Naylor. And it's still early. We got to wait for possibly the starting pitching to go out, and hopefully the Rangers will have a couple guys with a meltdown, and even when games are at 0-0 about at the halfway point, doesn't mean that the game can't finish, with a 5-2 score or something of that nature. But, we're not very good when we score 1 to 3 runs typically. Usually 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits is the magic number. But again, bats have been a little limited so far. Pitching has been overall pretty good from Kirby and Rocker. But again, I don't know if anyone anticipated a pitcher's duel with these two, but so far that's what we're getting. 2-1 pitch in play and grounded out to second. Throw to first. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Let's bring that electricity, Gino. Be an awesome time to be able to get his first home run in a Mariner uniform in 2025, or even getting a single or a double. The crowd will erupt. First pitch to Gino. Takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. Come on, Gino. Rocker on the mound. Eugenio Suarez in the box. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Gino. 247 average, 36 home runs by Eugenio Suarez here in 2025 with 87 ribbies as well. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Gino. Come on, Gino. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Gino. Come on, Gino. RBI leaders this season: Cal Raleigh #1, Gino 2, Schwarber 3, Judge 4. So it's not only do we have 2 of the top 4 home run hitters or 2 of the top 5 home run hitters, we also have 2 of the top 4 or 2 of the top 2 in the RBI column as well. So just need those guys to be able to feed off each other. Bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0, Rocker and Suarez. 2-2 pitch. And there we go. Go, Gino. Run. Throw to second. Safe. Stand up double by Eugenio Suarez. There we go. Nice job by Gino. I knew you could get a hit in your first game, and gets that line drive towards third base. Beautiful. Way to bring that electricity. Now let's see if we can get other guys to continue the rally. First pitch to Jorge Polanco. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Let's go, Polo. We need an RBI here. Let's go. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rocker to Polo. Let's go. 1-1 pitch. Low and away with the cutter. 89 miles an hour by Rocker. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Two 2-1 pitch. That one's fouled off low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Rocker to Polo. Bottom of the 4th inning with a runner at second. Eugenio Suarez with his first hit as a Seattle Mariner in 2025. A nice double, stand-up double for that matter, and hopefully we can bring him home. Come on, Polo. Team is going to be really exciting too once we get Bryce Miller and especially Victor Robles back. When Robles comes back, if he ends up, being healthy, we could end up having the strongest 1 through 9 lineup, not only in the American League, but in the MLB. Obviously, we know, the Dodgers and a few other teams got pretty strong lineups as well. But if you look at the names that we have, pretty sexy, but we need these guys to produce. Yeah, I mean, if Bryce ends up being a wash this year, I would kind of expect that. He played through an injury with his back and his elbow and wasn't good, and obviously has been on the IL a little longer than anticipated. And luckily, we have other guys that can fill in. Even though they might not be as good as Bryce when he's healthy, but what you're getting out of Logan Evans is pretty much what you're going to be able to get out of Bryce if he's injured. So. And Polo flies out to center, but deep enough for Gino to tag up from second and run to third and safe. 2 away. All right, here we go. We need an RBI single or an RBI double here by Dominic Canzone. 2-run blast would be great for a Dom bomb, but we only need just a single to make it 1-0. And again, sometimes you just got to crawl before you walk. First pitch, fouled off, low and away, 0-1 count. Rocker on the mound, Canzone in the box, and this is the first time that we've been able to threaten the Rangers here in the matchup. Yeah, Miller definitely has talent. Every starter, has talent. It's just a matter of, are they healthy? And this is the first time that we've had 3 out of the 5 starters injured. Kirby missing the first 50 games with shoulder inflammation. Gilbert missing half of the first half of the season with an injury. And then Bryce Miller missing a good chunk of this year. Most teams that would have injuries to 3 of their top 5 in the starting rotation would be fucked. So luckily, we have a great pitching staff and great coaches and good depth that it hasn't hurt us as bad as it would have maybe other teams. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rocker to Canzone. Come on, Dom. Come on, Dom. We need an RBI, baby. Let's go. One-two pitch. Fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the runner at third. Eugenio Suarez with 2 outs. Come on, baby. Let's get on the board. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Let's go. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the cutter by Rocker. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third and 2 outs. And there we go. Nice job by Dom. Big hit. Gino comes home. 1-0 Mariners. There we go. Wild pitch, baby. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. And it kind of felt like it was either going to be a wild pitch or Dom would get that single. And just right before he might have been able to step into that, it goes all the way to the backstop. Great awareness by Gino. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go. I was anticipating him following through with that swing, and he had his leg cocked there, but decided to pull back. Ended up bouncing in front of the catcher, going behind him, and great awareness by Gino. And we have a 1-0 lead. That's exactly what we want. And now let's see if we can get Dom to continue the inning. We're very good with 2 outs, but we'll see if that ends up stalling right here and the inning ends, or if we can continue with a few more batters here. And again, we haven't really had that kind of luck with a wild pitch. We've had Gabe Spire throw a wild pitch and having a runner score from third against us. But, nice to be able to, return the favor and get someone else to do it so we can score. And here we go, Dominic Canzone. I had a feeling that he would get a single there, and there it is. He just had to keep working the count. Nice job by Dom, single to right. Beautiful job, baby, on that 2-2 pitch. Great follow-through swing. Beautiful. Griffey would be proud. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Captain in the building. What's good, brother? 5 more likes to Hundo. We're still looking for our first dono on the channel here. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0 Mariners. First pitch from Rocker to JP. Low and at the knees. 1-0 count. How's the new job treating you, Captain? We've missed you here on the channel, but All Day has done a fantastic job filling in for you since you have a new schedule and whatnot. But we miss you tremendously, and hopefully the new job is going good for you. And exciting that, we got Naylor and Gino, and we're definitely making a run. 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Good to see you in the room, my guy. Michael in the building. What's good? Peter in the building. What's good? Come on, J.P. Demoted to the 8 hole, but I think it actually will work out better for him. As long as he doesn't let that affect his confidence. He used to be the leadoff hitter for many years for us, and then Victor Robles came over and took his spot. He went to the 9 hole, and you can tell his ego was a little bruised, but then eventually he got over it and then got better. And then when Victor got hurt at the beginning of the year, diving into the netting in the wall, against the Giants and got injured, we went back to being a leadoff hitter, and he's been pretty streaky. 2-1 pitch and grounds out, and that is out number 3. Well, JP still struggling, and hopefully at some point he'll be able to continue an inning for us. But we ended up getting the big double by Gino, and then the big wild pitch that ended up, scoring us a run. And then, Dom, a couple pitches later, ended up getting a single. So now we have 3 hits on the board. And again, Gino already making a difference on this Mariner team early, which we knew he would. He doesn't have to hit home runs to make an impact for the Mariners. It's also about vibes, and having people that are fun to be around. Someone that always has a positive attitude. And I feel Victor Robles is in that same category as well. When Victor and Gino are there, that's going to make Julio and Randy better by a lot. So can't wait to be able to see these guys get healthy. And we're going to have a dangerous team here in about a month. But hopefully, we can keep staying hot with this new lineup. Next up is Wyatt Langford. 0 for 1 here in the top of the 5th. Batting second in the 7-hole, DHing Jock Peterson. 0 for 0 with a base on ball. And welcome back to Seattle. 1 for 1 with a single. First baseman Rowdy Tellez. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Well, it's only going to be the 5th inning, so I think both pitchers are, relatively going to be in here for quite some time. Let's take a look at the stats for the pitchers at this halfway point. All right, so for Kumar Rocker, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. He's at 80 pitches, 49 strikes, so at least 1 more inning, maybe 2, depending on how many outs he can get with limited pitches. And then George Kirby is doing quite a bit better. Based on, his pitch count. George Kirby, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, 65 pitches, 40 strikes, 4.24 ERA. So I would assume they will have Rocker go 1 more, and then we'll see where they're at, but I don't know if he'll go 2. First pitch from George Kirby to Wyatt Langford. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Langford. 1-0 Mariner lead with Eugenio Suarez scoring from a wild pitch from third and making an impact already. Trident's up. Let's go, Gino. Oh-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. And, for people that are betting, I wouldn't be betting, on Mariners pitchers. I wouldn't be making any bets because in the past, when our hitting was terrible in 2022, 2023, and 2024, when we were batting as a team, 180 to 220, but our pitching staff was electric, almost every guy on the starting pitching staff could get 10 Ks. But now it's not very common, and it's pretty common nowadays where guys are getting 6 or less, and sometimes only like 3 or 4 with a bunch of pop-ups and ground outs. So, I definitely would be monitoring, each individual player, instead of just, hoping that they're going to end up getting that number. And 1-2 pitch in play. Langford grounds out to first. 1 away. Yeah, it's crazy, and we're already getting into a football season. The Hall of Fame game was today, and obviously we know preseason will be, in the mix. And then in a blink of an eye, we're going to have the NFL season as well as college football. Yeah, and they got Correa back as well. So they're trying to copy us with the whole Gino coming back home. Correa coming back home from the Twins, back to the Stros, and that'll help them out tremendously. Very intelligent player, very smart. First pitch from Kirby to Jock Peterson. Takes a big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Peterson. Oh-2 pitch, high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Peterson. 1-2 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes, turns into 1 ball and 3 strikes. Got him. Nice job by George Kirby with another punch out there. Nice job, George. Keep adding those Ks, baby. Next up, former Seattle Mariner first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Yeah, Kumar will come out in the bottom of the 5th, but that might be his last inning because he's already at 80. So, I would assume he'll be pitching somewhere between 10 and 16 pitches, unless he's incredibly lucky with everyone swinging at garbage, and getting out of the inning with 10 pitches or less. And if that happens, then he'll be able to go, 6 innings. But realistically, I would assume that, he'll probably be around 95, 96 pitches, and they'll probably pull him after the 5th. First pitch from Kirby to Tellez, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Tellez. 1-1 pitch, takes another strike right down the middle by George Kirby. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kirby to Tellez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. Tellez does not bite. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kirby to Tellez. Two-two pitch, deeply hit, but stays in play and lines out to right to Dominic Canzone, and that is out number 3. Good job by the Mariners there. We got a 1-0 lead, and hopefully we can add on. In the bottom of the 5th, 0 for 1, second baseman Cole Young. Batting second, leadoff hitter for the very first time, walk with 4 balls, and his first at bat, 1 for 1 single right up the middle. He's 2 for 2 so far, which is fantastic. Randy Arozarena. Maybe this is our brand new leadoff hitter. And batting third, 0 for 2, catcher big dumper Cal Raleigh. Been a little bit, overly aggressive, and hopefully we'll be able to get home run number 42 tonight. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, I'm full-time. I've been full-time for, 3-4 years now. So I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. So I do live play-by-play and reactions for, Mariners. Once in a while, I used to do Dodgers for my dad, or for any good matchups. Obviously, I do Oregon Ducks every single game, Tampa Bay Bucks, also Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night games throughout the year. And if there's other college matchups that are good, that are available, I would consider that. We do some Kraken, we do some Blazers, we do NASCAR Cup Series, we do WWE. So we really do everything on the channel. There's not really anything that we don't do for the major, sports, and obviously a little bit of WWE and AEW, obviously when time permits. Like this weekend, we have SummerSlam. That's a 2-day event. So I have to decide, do I want to do the Mariners or do I want to do SummerSlam? And obviously I want to do both, but Mariner games are going to start at 1:10 and then SummerSlam starts at 4. So I'm not sure. I mean, there might be a little bit of a, layover from one event to the next. So, depending on what we get result-wise today and tomorrow will determine what we do on the weekend. So I would love to be able to do both. I mean, that's a long time sitting in the chair for like 7 hours straight, but we'll see what happens today and tomorrow with the likes and the donos. And, that'll determine what we end up doing, obviously, today and tomorrow, if we end up doing the Mariners on Saturday and Sunday or SummerSlam or both. And then if we end up doing SummerSlam on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be right back, doing Mariners, obviously, in the next series on that Monday. First pitch from Rocker to Cole Young. Pitch is low and away, takes a strike looking outside of the line. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike from Rocker to Young. Ben Williamson ended up getting sent down to AAA. And Cole Young on the 1-1 pitch. Back. See ya! Cole Young, 470 feet. My boy. Solo dinger. Trident's up. 2-0 Mariners. Second deck blast. As I was mentioning to Captain, Ben Williamson got sent down to AAA right when Cole Young ended up doing that blast, but we did get Miles Mastroboni back on the squad. So we have one of our best bench guys that can fill in. And nice job by Cole Young. A guy that probably is only going to hit 5 or 6 home runs all year. And sometimes you need that unexpected home run by guys like Ben Williamson or Cole Young. And again, I like what I'm seeing. Nice job by Cole. Huge solo dinger by Cole Young. And sometimes it's going to be those unexpected guys that will be those heroes. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside by Rooker. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 0-2 pitch in play and lines out to right. And that is 1 away. But I kind of like Randy leading off, much better than Julio leading off. Having him hit a little bit later works better for him. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. First pitch for the big dumper, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Rocker on the mound, big dumper in the box. Come on, Cal. We need that bat, baby. 2-0 Mariners. Yeah, I mean, Ben obviously had better defense than Cole, but had problems hitting. Cole was a better hitter than Ben, but defense at times could be better. So obviously, it's like if you could have combined, those guys, but 0-1 pitch, back. See ya, Cal Raleigh with home run number 42. It's gone. Let's go. You ask and you shall receive. There it is, baby. Cole Young with a homer. Cal Raleigh with a homer to right center. 364 feet. Back. See ya. Let's go. 3-0 Mariners. Let's fucking go. That will get a dono for sure. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. 42nd home run, baby. Let's go. You ask and you get. Nice job, big dumper. And I got the jersey on with the City Connect tonight. Right, ends up. Let's go, M's. And I'm telling you that just the overall vibe, having Gino and Naylor on the team, we are a World Series contender. And I never really thought I would say that for many, many years. But again, we have the team. If you actually look at the pitching staff, you could argue we have the best pitching staff in the American League when they're healthy. But again, they haven't been lately, and they've been a little off. But if they can ever get back to their ways of 2022, 2023, and 2024, and then we can add good hitting to that, and the bullpen doesn't have too many fucking meltdowns, this could be a team that overachieves and catches up to the Stros, possibly wins the division or gets the wild card. We could go to an ALDS or ALCS, And we're the only team that's never been to a World Series. And even Buster Olney, who is an MLB expert, thought that we have the best team in the American League after picking up Gino and Naylor. And again, the Tigers are good, even though they're on a slide right now, right? Yankees were good, but they're on a slide with Aaron Judge and the injury. Astros and Blue Jays are still kicking ass and taking names, but there's only really 5 teams, So again, it's us and 4 others. So who's to say that the Mariners can't get hot at the right time and make a deep run? Next up is Julio Rodriguez, first pitch, and Julio grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is 2 away. If Julio would have homered, the whole place would have just blew up. It's okay, Julio, I still love you. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch from Rooker to Naylor, takes a strike looking low and in the zone, 0-1 count. And again, you need to be able to have home run hitters at first and third. We haven't had that in quite some time since we had Ty France and Eugenio Suarez a few years ago. And now it's starting to look pretty sexy. Let's go, baby. There you go. Thank you, Captain. We've been waiting, man. Hour and 35 minutes in. Thank you for someone showing some love. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 5:95 to go. Appreciate you. And Naylor with a nice little base knock. And that's a little blooper in between the gap. Nice. Everyone getting hot, and shows you it's just like on a dono train, there is a snowball effect. One hit turns into another. One home run turns into another. And now we're back to our savior, third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Good vibes only. And now they're going to possibly make a pitching change because Rocker got rocked. Let's go. Place is going to explode if Gino hits a home run. And I'm telling you, Astros have a much more difficult schedule. Their schedule was easier than ours in the first half of the season. But now on the second half, we have one of the top 10 easiest. We don't have number 1. Last time I checked, I think we were 10th easiest out of 30 teams. But that doesn't mean shit if we can't, play up to the competition. You play teams like the Angels and the A's, and if you're only winning 1 or 2 games out of 3 or 4, that's kind of defeating the purpose. You need to make sure you're bringing your A game, no matter who you're playing. Easier said than done, but now with obviously Naylor and Gino and picking up 2 of the top 4 guys at the deadline, we're all in. We got the best hitter last year in Randy Arozarena at the deadline. We got 2 of the top 4, obviously this year, and we didn't give up any of our top 10 prospects in the farm. That's the thing that really is mind-blowing. We didn't give up Harry Ford. We didn't give up Lazaro Montes. We didn't give up Colt Emerson. We didn't give up Durangelo. Of course, we're not giving up Cade. We just drafted him. But we didn't give up really anybody good besides Tyler Locklear, who could have been a fill-in first baseman if we didn't get Naylor. We did just call him up. But again, Naylor will be a better option with the chemistry he has with Gino. And I wish, I wish everyone, Locklear and everyone else, good luck. But again, once we end up getting Bryce Miller healthy, and the most important piece to this team for hitting, defense, and vibes, besides Gino, Victor Robles. Once we get Victor Robles as our leadoff hitter again, that could be the missing piece that takes us over the top. And again, Victor is going to be good at offense, defense, and especially vibes. Let's go. Kevin with a tour. Appreciate you. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, my guy. Let me know what you want to do for a photo. If you got a player, I can do Raleigh, Suarez, Polanco, or someone else. Let me know, and I got you. Appreciate you. We're at, 7:93 to go. Bottom of the 5th, the offense has woken up. And no surprise, Gino is the main factor, right? Ended up getting a double to start our rally. And I had a wild pitch, and he scored from third, and that carried over to a few other batters. And again, sometimes all you need is 1 or 2 guys, and even if Gino only had 10 home runs this season, he would still be as impactful. 1-2 pitch, and Naylor steals second. And it's crazy. Naylor is not a stolen bag king. He barely stole any bags when he was on the Guardians or the Diamondbacks. Now he's stealing bags on the regular. And that's kind of cool to see, as long as he doesn't, anticipate it wrong and get thrown out. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Latz to Suarez. And hopefully we get another meltdown here. I got you. Now, no one's forgetting about Ryan Bliss, but there's no room for him. I mean, that's more of a backup player, and he's more of a AAA guy rather than a guy that could, help us win here. Because again, if you're going to be talking about Ryan Bliss, we got a player that's just like him that's in AAA, and Leo Rivas. Leo Rivas can hit, play defense, and steal bags, and typically has a 300 average. So again, Leo Rivas is a better player than Bliss. And so again, if you're going to be comparing one of those two, Leo would be a guy that would deserve a spot. Ben Williamson just got sent down. He's better than Bliss as well. So we have a lot of guys, but Robles is going to be more important than Bliss. Bliss won't be able to make the roster with all the depth that we have. And then also we have guys like Luke Raleigh that are hurt, Bryce Miller that are hurt, Victor Robles that are hurt. So there will be some adjustments, but I highly doubt you're going to see Bliss this year. You might see him next year, maybe, but a lot of injuries would have to happen. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at second and 2 outs. 3-0 Mariner lead. 3-2 pitch, and Eugenio pops out to second, and that is the end of the inning. A great one, though. 3-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Let's get some photos up. We'll get you some Cal. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning. 3-0 Mariners, baby. And if we can win 3 out of 4 or sweep the Rangers, that could be the momentum that we need and never look back. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Nice job by Cal. Home run number 42. And we have 2 of the top 5 home run hitters. And then once Gino gets going, obviously at some point he'll pass Schwarber. And then it'll be, obviously Cal at 1, right? And then Shohei at 2. Judge obviously is injured. So you would assume Schwarber and Gino eventually will catch up depending on how long Judge misses, time-wise. But as soon as Judge comes back, you would assume that he'll be able to, hit home runs as long as he, doesn't have that lingering injury. Nice job by Cole Young, too. It's just, you never know what guy is going to step up and give you that electricity. And if you really look at it, the top 6 guys in the lineup, we know it can get home runs. It'll be the, bottom 3, Dom, who has the ability, JP once in a while, and then obviously Cole once in a while. But hell, if we're going to get home runs from the bottom of the order, at hopefully JP at one point or another, and then Dom, this is going to be a very electric lineup, not only for short term, but for long term. Trident's up. Let's go M's. It's called playing down to the competition. The A's don't have a good record, but they always play us tough like the Angels. You can take the records and throw them out the window. We actually have an easier time normally against the Astros and the Rangers. We play up to the competition. We know they're good, and we bring our A game. But when we play the Angels and the A's, we kind of take them for granted. Oh, they're not very good. They don't got Shohei Ohtani, and Mike Trout's not as good. Or, the A's have a few good players, but they're the A's. They're 20 games below 500, and that's the fucking problem. Once you start underestimating your opponent in the division, records go out the window, and if they score early, sometimes you never can catch up. And that's what's happened when we played those teams. They will always play us tough, the Angels and the Athletics. But they just got rid of Mason Miller, so obviously that'll, help out a lot of teams that have to match up with them. They definitely sold. They let JP Sears go and Mason Miller, the closer that pitched 100, 103 miles an hour consistently to the Padres. So we'll see if that will help the Padres overcome the Dodgers and the Giants, the Phillies and the Mets, as well as the Brew Crew and the Cubbies, but we will see. First pitch from Kirby to Higashioka, the former Padre and Yankee. Low and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Higashioka. Let's go, George. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 3-0 Mariner lead. Let's go. I mean, obviously there's old school photos, of Gino, from obviously 2022, 2023, but I assume the photographers are going to be working hard tonight. So I would assume that we would have a few City Connect photos from tonight's game tomorrow. And once that happens, if they are HD or 4K, then I'll implement those on the stream moving forward as well. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss for Higashioka. See ya. And another punch out there by George Kirby. Nice job, George. One away. And having this extra, firepower in the lineup is going to help give confidence to the pitchers. So we may not see them, have a lot of these early struggles that we have in the last few weeks. Next up is Josh Smith, 0 for 2 with a K. First pitch from George Kirby to Smith, fouls it off. Low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Much better outing for George here. He had a no-hitter in his last start through the first 5 innings and then gave up 5 consecutive hits for 4 runs, and then we lost. So, again, he's not done yet, but he's been much better, and obviously Gino and Naylor are part of that. It's bringing in guys to give you that swagger and confidence that that, not every day, but we are going to be able to produce more hits and more runs with extra firepower. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and another punch out by Kirby. Beautiful. Nice job by George, bringing that electricity. Another punch out there, 2 away. Next up is shortstop Corey Seager. See if we can get one more punch out here and he can retire the side. Yeah, Vargas is on the team. Ben Williamson got sent down to AAA because obviously the Gino move. First pitch to Seager, in play, and a single to right. And then obviously Miles Mastroboni took the last spot, and so we recalled him from AAA and brought him back up. And Miles has been our best bench guy all year. For a guy that only plays once every 3 to 4 games and gets only a couple at-bats, he's been pretty good. Much better than Garver or Solano or fucking Dylan Moore, but again, nobody wants Dylan Moore or that contract, and same thing goes with Vargas and a few others, so. But it definitely wouldn't hurt my feelings if some of these guys on the team in the next few years weren't, like Castillo is getting old. I would assume that we won't have him in a few years. Donovan Solano can go, Dylan Moore can go, Vargas can go. There's quite a few guys. And, again, we got a lot of guys in the farm too. At some point we're going to see Colt Emerson, Lazaro Montez, Durangelo, Cade Anderson. This is going to be something pretty special. Wouldn't shock me one bit if we make deep runs, a few times in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, it would be crazy to think, that we could end up making a World Series or 2 in the next 10 years, but it could happen. Hell, it could happen this year. Though American League is wide open. National League has got about 10 teams competing. American League has about 5. So it's a little bit easier, on the American League side based on what we've seen, in the first half of the season. First pitch from Kirby to Marcus Semien. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. All right, we're at 110. Let's see if we can get to 150 before the stream ends. Let's go, baby. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marcus Semien. 1-1 pitch and a big hit and a double to center. Get that, Julio. And now we got runners at second and third with 2 outs. We can't let them score. All right, here we go. Next up is Adalis Garcia, and we can get a pop-up or a ground out on Garcia. Let's go, George. Don't fumble the bag here. Let's keep it 3-0, baby. And then if he does, we can have Brash or Bizardo, come in, and then maybe we go Brash, Bizardo, Munoz, and we don't have to see some of the others. And obviously, since we're ahead, we're not going to see Vargas or Thornton, Legumina, more than likely. We'll see who's warming up right now. Who do they got? They got Ferguson and Bizardo. I like it. And Ferguson is the new lefty who's been in the league, 6-7 years from the Pirates. So it gives us another left-handed pitcher between him and Gabe Spire. And then we got Bizardo, who probably is the best guy in the pen right now. Hasn't fucked up. We've seen Brash and Mooney be a little shaky in the last couple outings, but Bizardo hasn't fucked up really all year. He's been pretty solid. First pitch from Kirby to Garcia, high and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. I mean, George, you got to think he ended up having a no-hitter through 5 innings, gave up 5 hits in a row for 4 runs. Even if he gives up a run here, he's pitched great, but again, on top of that, you're getting run support. There's extra swagger and confidence for the Mariners since we got Naylor and Gino. There's no doubt about that. We knew that we were pretty good before them. Now we're World Series contenders. And now if we can just get the pitching to be like it used to be, we might be unstoppable. Again, we know that the Blue Jays and the Tigers and the Yankees and the Astros are very, very good. There's no doubt about that. But with the Aaron Judge injury and with the Tigers reeling, really it's now us, the Blue Jays and the Stros. And we don't fear those two teams. We play well against the Astros and the Blue Jays. We got a great record against those teams. Really the team that hurts us the most is the Yankees. But if they're injured, hey, we'll take advantage. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs, 3-0 Mariner lead. 1-2 pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball by Kirby. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Yeah, no one would have taken Demo, Andrea. Dylan has been fucking terrible. And now he did have 8 home runs at the beginning of the year when him and Polo were extremely hot. Remember when Polo had 9 home runs and was batting 350 to 450 in April? It was insane. That was like when Tyler Soderstrom was really good as well. 2-2 pitch, and Garcia fumbles the bag and flies out to center, and the Mariner defense comes up big, and George Kirby comes up big again. Boom. Nice job by George Kirby by not giving up that RBI. Adolis Garcia is like one of those guys that's kind of like a well-known name, but kind of overrated. He doesn't produce as much as you would think. He's not, Corey Seager or some of these others in the lineup. And I appreciate that. Thank you for popping up and popping out. Nice job by Julio. No fly zone is in effect, baby. George Kirby with a 3-hitter and no runs given up. That's a lot better than having a no-hitter through 5 innings and giving up 5 straight hits for 4 runs and we lose. Nice job, George. And hopefully this will carry over to not only George Kirby, but Luis Castillo, Logan Evans, Logan Gilbert, and Brian Wu. And really, you got it. If you've been paying attention and watching games with me, Brian Wu has been fucking up lately the last couple starts, right? Logan Gilbert has been fucking up lately last couple starts. George Kirby fucked up last start, giving up, a no-hitter and then 5 hits in a row for 4 runs, and now he's better, right? And then we saw Logan Evans on the road looking like shit. He's good at home, but not on the road. He hasn't figured it out yet. We can't switch up for Bryce Miller because he's not ready yet. And even when Bryce was pitching early in the year, he wasn't good. His ERA was like 4.5. So, we'll see where it goes. But Luis Castillo, really the only guy lately, who's been pretty consistent. And even, at times we know that Castillo can fuck up and give up multiple home runs and we can lose. But, hopefully now with Gino there and with Naylor, the confidence is going to be at an all-time high. We are going to score more runs. We are going to get more hits. We are going to get more home runs. And obviously moving JP out of the leadoff spot is very instrumental because he's been on a slump. Why keep putting JP as a leadoff hitter when he doesn't do shit, right? And again, we know Victor Robles is better, but he's not ready yet. So moving JP in the 8 hole is perfect. I know for him it's a demotion and it might be a little bit of a gut punch, but let's be honest, he's probably the weakest hitter in the lineup besides maybe Dom, at this point. And even Dom can get home runs more often than JP. So, and JP did have a 15, 16 game hit streak. The problem with JP is either he's really hot or he's really not. 16 games in a row with a hit, or he goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5 in multiple games. We need to find like a middle ground where he gets 1 hit or 2 hits once in a while, and hopefully this demotion to the 8 hole won't hurt him that bad. Latz on the mound, Polo in the box. Here in the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Mariners. First pitch from Latz to Polo, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the changeup by Latz. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. 2-1 pitch, high and away with the 4-seam fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike from Latz to Polo. Yeah, and don't be surprised if we catch up to the Astros and, surpass them, obviously for first place in the AL West at some point. The Stros are very, very good. They got Carlos Correa back, so they're going to have a little reunion, obviously, there with Stros fans, just like we did with Gino. Correa will definitely be an instrumental piece, but even with that being said, our team is better from top to bottom. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Latz to Polo. Three-two pitch, and good eyes by Polo, and that's a walk. Nice job, Polo. I love you. Yeah, once a starting pitcher goes out, if you're, doing bets for parlays, once a player goes out, they can't come back in. If you don't even know that rule, then you probably shouldn't be betting on baseball. Again, if you got a starting pitcher that is playing and then he goes out, he can't come back in, and then your bet is done. So you have to know these simple rules. If you don't know that, there's no reason to be betting on baseball, period. It's hard enough to be able to win even when you know all the rules and you know what's going on. Baseball is one of the hardest sports to win in bets, period. It's unpredictable. You have a better chance of winning in the NBA and the NFL than you do in MLB or in the NHL. First pitch, takes a strike looking to Dominic Canzone, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. 3-0 Mariner lead. Mariners Cubs World Series, Jason, would be incredible. I like watching the Cubs. You guys have an amazing team. It's probably like my favorite team to watch in the National League. We know the Mets got a good squad. Phillies got a good squad. The Brew Crew and the Cubs are very good this year. And then you got the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants killing it. But I think my favorite team to watch out of everyone is probably the Cubs. They're kind of like the Mariners. You kind of feel like they were pretty good before, but obviously the emergence of Seiya Suzuki, Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA, filling in the gaps and getting Kyle Tucker, who you guys should sign long-term. If you don't, and he ends up going to the Yankees, Dodgers, or someone else, you guys won't be as good. So hopefully you guys will do that. 2-2 pitch. Canzone strikes out swinging, and Polo steals second. 1 away. But I love the Cubs. I mean, my grandma, who's, in heaven, obviously, for a lot of people in America, that didn't have cable or did have basic cable, maybe not extended, watch WGN, right? So if you weren't, a fan of the Mariners or whoever, was your local team, you could pop on WGN or TBS for the Braves. And there's a lot of Cubs and Braves fans in every single state for that reason. And, going back from the Harry Carey days to Rhino, rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg, Mark Grace, Andre Dawson, Sean Dunston, Mookie Blaylock. I can go on and on and on. So .1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Cubs are exciting. They got good uniforms too. Good history, good uniforms. And obviously it's going to be tough because there's more quality teams in the National League this year than obviously in the American. Yeah, but that would be an amazing, World Series, Cubs and Mariners, but it would be fucking heartbreak for somebody, probably us, because the first time the Mariners go, they probably wouldn't win the World Series, but you never know. Anything could happen. And obviously the Cubs, even though they're fun to watch, they're probably not considered like the top, option. And here we go, JP in the 8-hole. Nice hit. There we go. Go, go, go. And Polo safe. There we go. JP Crawford, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And again, moving to the 8-hole, he finally got his confidence back. 4-0 Mariners. My boy. Look at Polo hustle from second. Beautiful. Way to bring that electricity. And this might be, the lineup that we need moving forward. Keeping Randy as a leadoff hitter and keeping JP in the 8-hole. I like it. I like it. This is probably my favorite lineup that I've seen. Obviously, the addition of Naylor and Gino is insane, but having Randy lead off and JP at 8, perfect. And having Cole at 9. First pitch to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 4-0 Mariner lead. And it feels like by adding Gino last night, we're going to get on a nice little win streak here. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Latz to Young. But again, if we end up sweeping this Ranger team, the rest of the league will be on notice. Yeah, not Mookie Blaylock. Who was I trying to think of? John Dunston, and then I was thinking, who was I thinking? I don't even know why I said that name. But all the rest are good. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Latz to Young. When I think of Marquise Grisham, that's more like Expos. It'll come to me. No spamming, my guy. And Young in play. Here we go, baby. Another RBI. JP hustling. Go, go, go. And a triple, baby, by Cole Young. Safe. Wow. Look at the effort by the Mariners. And again, the overall vibe of bringing in Gino and Naylor is very evident. And again, we were sitting at 0-0 for the first half of the game, and then now just a couple innings later, we put up 5. And again, it's not going to be easy to sweep anybody. It's not going to be easy to win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4. But again, if you look at our team 1 through 9, if our starting pitching plays well and our hitting is like this, we're going to be tough to beat. And the only thing that would make us lose is a meltdown from our bullpen. And again, we may not see too many more meltdowns if we keep playing like this. If we keep having the lead, we won't have to put in the shitty guys like Carlos Vargas. Cole having a night, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Let's go, baby. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch from Latz to Randy. Takes a strike swinging. 0-1 count. There are going to be a lot of people in their feelings moving forward, not only this year, but many years to come. You got to think, all these people are bitching and moaning, because we got a couple guys. It's not like we've made the playoffs every fucking year. We went 20 years without making the playoffs. How many fans could actually be that hardcore about a team knowing you have no chance? It's not like we're the fucking Yankees or the Dodgers. It's kind of cool to be able to have teams when they're not very good often get good, and not just the Mariners, but other teams like the Brewers and the Cubs and the Giants, the Tigers. It's cool to see. You already know the Dodgers and the Yankees and Padres are fucking going to be good every year. It's good to be able to have some newbies in there once in a while. But a lot of feelings are going to be hurt, let me tell you. 2 away. Next up is Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Oh-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and inside at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Already had a big home run, number 42. We're looking for home run number 43. Let's go Big Dumper. And now we have 2 of the top 5 home run hitters in the game with Big Dumper and Gino. Pretty exciting. Oh, you know who it was? I don't even know why I said Mookie Blaylock. It was Dwight Smith and Jerome Walton. I think Jerome Walton is what I was thinking of. I don't know why my voice said Mookie right there. But obviously, Grace, Sandberg, Dawson, right? Sean Dunston. And then there was obviously a few others. But Jerome Walton, that's what I meant to say. I mean, I collected a bunch of cards from back in the day. I don't know where the Mookie came out of. 0-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third and 2 outs, 5-0 Mariner lead. Cal Raleigh for MVP, baby. Let's go. You know it. Stacks. Rax with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang, let's go. Yeah, and the Cubs went, 100 fucking years. Obviously the curse with the GOAT, and they finally were able to, achieve the pinnacle, climbing the mountain. And I think the Mariners at some point will be able to do the same. Especially with our number one farm system. We've got a lot of good players there. And again, it's nice to be able to see Dipoto and management actually keeping their word and not trying to be, 54%. We're trying to, be a World Series contender. And this is the first time since maybe 2001 that we've been like this good. And again, we still got a long ways to go, but I like where this team is going. 2-2 pitch. And big dumper on a pass ball. Higashioka can't get it, and safe at home. Man, they are reeling. Fuck up after fuck up after fuck up. 6-0 Mariners. Let's go. And again, if we win, these first couple games, we might be able to win 3 out of 4. But if we were able to sweep this team, this could be a real leapfrog, groundbreaking moment, for our team moving forward. Especially when you can beat a team as good as the Rangers. But again, we play up to the competition. So we played better against the Rangers and the Astros, even though they have a better record than the A's and the Angels. Go figure. And when we play the bad teams, sometimes we lose when we play the Marlins or the White Sox or the A's or the Angels. But when we play the good teams, sometimes we throw up 35 runs and sweep the Tigers, Really, the only team that's good that we normally struggle with in the American League is the Yankees. Everyone else we can, handle. And with the Judge injury, we'll see where it goes. In play, and Cal Raleigh grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is the end of the 6th inning, but not after we end up putting up a few more runs. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Pass ball twice, and we're going to see Ferguson make his debut. Great time for him to come in as a lefty, when we have a 6-0 lead. Man, this is going to be so exciting. And again, I've been a fan of this team for 40 years. I may look pretty young. Some people think I'm in my late 20s. Some people think I'm in my 30s. I'm 43. I started watching baseball, sports, and wrestling at 3. Okay. And again, 1995, with the 95 slide by Griffey. Right, 97 AL MVP year for Griffey, 2001 116 wins with Ichiro's rookie year, and then 2022 when Cal Raleigh, had the walk-off homer against the Athletics. That's it. We didn't really get that magic, with Felix Hernandez. We didn't get that magic, with Kyle Seager. We didn't get that magic, with Nelson Cruz. We didn't get that magic with Raul Ibanez, and we should have, but we didn't. We had 20 years of nothing. So, to be able to go from 2022 to 2042, again, we're going to make the playoffs probably 12, 13 times out of 20 years. And out of those 12 or 13 times out of 20 years, you would think if we keep playing like this and we keep, picking up the right guys, we might be able to make a World Series or 2 in the next 20 years. I don't think that's crazy to think. And, if we're really lucky, hell, we might make it this year. Top of the 7th inning, 6-0 Mariners. You got to crawl before you walk, though. The one thing is for sure, we are World Series contenders now. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, Evan Carter. Batting second, left fielder, Wyatt Langford. And batting third, DHing in the 7-hole, Jock Peterson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah. I think people, depending on what race that you are, but yeah, if you are mixed race, depending on if you're mixed with, if you're half Latino or half Asian, or something of that nature, definitely, depending on how, your genetics are and how you take care of yourself, for sure. First pitch from Ferguson to Sam Haggerty, the former Mariner. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sam Haggerty. seeing if they have anything that I could use, but they don't have anything yet for Caleb, but maybe later they will. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sam Haggerty. 1-2 pitch in play. And grounds out to the shortstop. JP, throw to first, 1 away. Down goes Sam, the former Seattle Mariner. Obviously, Rowdy Tellez as well. Next up is Wyatt Langford. First pitch from Ferguson to Langford. Takes a strike looking. So far, so good. Here from Ferg, 0-1 count. And Ferguson has been in the league 6-7 years for the Pirates, and I like the addition. You know, we ended up getting a first baseman, a third baseman, Naylor, Gino, and then Ferg. Yeah, we could have used maybe one more, bullpen piece, righty or lefty, to replace like Vargas, and maybe even a right fielder to give us a little bit more depth behind Dom and Dylan Moore and Luke Raley and whoever the hell wants to play right field. Obviously, that's Victor Robles' spot when he's healthy. So, and eventually he'll be healthy probably around September. So for not getting a right fielder, it kind of makes sense now with Victor Robles approaching his return in about a month. But again, we did what we needed to do, and the results are evident. 6 fucking runs. I mean, when's the last time the Mariners put up a fucking 6? It feels like forever. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Langford. Well, Robles is one of the best players on the team. It's just, we don't have access to him right now. 1-2 pitch, and Langford lines out to left, and that is 2 away. Next up is Jock Peterson, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 150 likes before the stream ends, and we're still trying to get to 100 on the Dono train. Nothing. We gave nothing for Naylor and nothing for Gino. We gave up Tyler Locklear, who is like a baby Ty France that just got called up, but it's not a big deal. Burgos, the reliever, and then another individual. So it was literally nothing. We didn't give up any of the top 10 farm prospects in either deal. So shout out to DePoto and company as Jock Peterson goes out for out number 3. So again, it's like I thought for sure Harry Ford and then a couple other guys, Ford, Locklear, and maybe like a pitching, player like Burgos. I thought maybe something like that for Gino. But again, if the Diamondbacks are willing to take literally nothing, so that they can get the payroll off, for Gino and Naylor. And a lot of times you can get good players that are getting paid a lot. And that's why these teams are willing to take less, because they want to, have less money to pay for those guys. And, the Mariners, I don't necessarily want to say we fleeced them, but we didn't give up anything good in our farm. And we have the number 1 farm team in MLB. So go figure. Ferguson was good right there. And that's a good sign, obviously, for another lefty in the pen. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th. And, we got a 6-0 lead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. Is it time? Let's get it, baby. Batting second in the 4-hole, 1 for 3 with a K. First baseman, Josh Naylor. You know what to do, Josh. Be patient in the box. And batting third, our savior, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. Good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Try heads up. Let's go, M's. And I feel that we're not going to be getting blown out as often as we had been in the past, especially with this roster. And then again, if we can get a healthy Bryce Miller and a healthy Victor Robles, watch out. Then we can send Logan Evans down to AAA and obviously have Victor lead off. And I mean, when Victor's on the team, we probably will have the best 1 through 9 lineup, not only in the American League, but you could probably argue even in the MLB. It's going to be sexy. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. I do like the Cubs 1 through 9 as well. Cubs have got a pretty strong 1 through 9. Dodgers, but sometimes the Dodgers, even with an amazing lineup with Mookie, Freddie, Shohei, and Teoscar, even with 4 studs, sometimes they get blanked for 0s and 1s. So they could use a few more good role players. But even a guy like Tommy Edman, just kind of a normal role player, he was one of the big differences with the Dodgers winning last year. And sometimes that's a piece that you need. Might not be a popular name, but they get the job done. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking on Julio. 0 for 4 day for Julio, but again, everyone else is playing well, and that's better than Julio having a great day and no one else showing up. So we'll take it for now, but hopefully Julio will homer at some point in this series, which I think he will. Next up is first baseman Josh Naylor. And again, I was pretty confident that we were going to get both players because we've already been trading back and forth with the Diamondbacks. That's our number 1 trade partner in the last 5 years. Seawald, Gino, we always make deals. Ketel Marte, so I'm really happy that not only we got Gino, but we didn't give up anything good for him besides Tyler Locklear. That's the key. Not giving up Harry Ford. So at some point, we can get rid of Solano. We can get rid of Dylan Moore. We can get rid of Garver. We can get rid of Carlos Vargas and eventually add better pieces from the farm, as well as, maybe free agency. 0-1 pitch, fouls that one off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 6-0 Mariner lead. And Harry is good. Harry's one of those guys that he already right now is better than Garver, hitting and defending. And it's a guy that you could have DH, even though he's kind of a smaller catcher like a Buster Posey. And you can also throw him at another position if needed. If you had to throw him as an emergency, whatever, he could probably play almost anything except maybe first base. So, and obviously, he's a catcher full time, but catcher and DH would be the most valuable for Harry. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And then you got Lazaro Montes, who could play right field if anything ever happens to Victor Robles, right? You got Colt Emerson, who could take over JP one day. So it's like we're definitely getting, the right pieces, and we just need to keep developing. But I'm really excited about Durangelo and Cade, because again, once we get those guys to pair up with Kirby, Gilbert, and Wu, we're going to have the best pitching staff in baseball, period. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Like, what are batters going to do when he pitches from the left side and then goes to the right side? He's going to be unfucking stoppable. He's got a righty hitter, he pitches left, right? He's got a lefty hitter, he pitches right. It's going to be fucking insane. And down goes Naylor for out number 2. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Bring that electricity you already have. Your impact has already made a huge difference already. Re-signing Gino is much more important for Naylor. If Naylor walks after this year, who cares? Like, we understand that it's a rental, for both players at this point. But if you had to choose between one or the other, it's better to give Gino the long-term deal for the end of his career than Naylor. We can find another first baseman either, through the draft, through free agency or through a trade. So, end of the 7th inning, 6-0 Mariners. Now, if we can keep both, that would be great, for the future moving forward. But obviously, Gino would be more important than Naylor. Yeah, but Ben can't hit. Come on, my guy. Ben is a good defender, but he can't hit. And also he doesn't give you the same vibes as Gino. Gino could have 10 home runs right now and have more impact than Ben. Like I said, Ben is going to be like Tyler Locklear at first, where we could have had him, where you have a guy that's okay, but he's more of a farm player, that got an opportunity early with Cole Young, And again, there will be a time where Ben may be a better hitter, but will he ever be Eugenio Suarez? And the answer is no. You're never going to see Ben Williamson hit 30, 40, 50 home runs. It's not going to happen, And again, I like Ben a lot, but again, that's a big downgrade, going from Gino to Ben. And I love Ben, but again, the guy can't really hit yet. He's too young. Yeah, 250 ain't good enough, my guy. I mean, again, you know, when we have players, you know, like Randy and Cal and Julio that aren't doing shit, you know, we can't bank on Ben Williamson and Cole Young to win the game for us every day. You know, it's like, have they stepped up, you know, here and there? Yeah. Cole's a better hitter. Ben was a better defender, you know, but they still are, you know, essentially rookies. They got a long ways to go. Top of the 8th inning, 6-0 Mariners. And sometimes it's not about just production. It's about who you are as a man, who you are as a person, you know, and what kind of vibes you bring. And again, Gino and Victor Robles bring the best vibes on the team, you know, and again, when shit is going bad, you can rely on them to keep everyone up. Same thing with Cal Raleigh. And again, you know, when you have guys like that, it really does make a difference. You're not going to get that same kind of impact with Ben Williamson. He's not going to be able to rally the troops, you know, the same way as those other guys. And hopefully Ben will make his way back up to the team at some point. But, you know, we got to be able to have home run hitting players at first and third. You know, if you don't have home run hitters at first and third, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. That's just based on past history in the league. First pitch from Thornton to Tellez. Takes a strike looking on the line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play. Tellez rounds out to first. Tap on the bag. And that is 1 away. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K. Catcher Kyle Higashioka. Yeah, but the thing is Gino doesn't have to take more money to go to the Mets. It'd be better to be here. You know, it's all about, you know, if you're, you know, your vibes are good and you have a good relationship, you know, with the fan base, the coaches, and the team. When he ended up going on the plane last night, he hugged every person on the plane. You name me one other fucking player in MLB that would have got traded, you know, and went back to their team that would have done that. Their answer is nobody. Nobody would have done that. Every player and coach, you know, on the team, including the reporters, like that just doesn't happen. He is, you know, more special than people think, and it's more than just the home runs. You know, Gino is about the vibes. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Thornton to Higashioka. I mean, we already got 6 runs in his first game. The impact is evident. 0-2 pitch in play, lines out at second, and that is 2 away. Next up for Trent Thornton is Josh Smith. First pitch to Josh Smith, takes a strike looking low and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, but we're not going to see him for a few years, Brian. He might be much better down the road when we're ready to start him as our 5. Cade will be ahead of schedule faster, you know, based on his ability at LSU and his mechanics than, you know, Durangelo. But when Durangelo finally gets there, it'll be special. And down goes Josh Smith for out number 3. There we go. 6-0 Mariner lead. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see if we can get one more. I mean, I would love to be able to keep both. Don't get me wrong, but it'll be easier to be able to find someone at first than it would be at third. You know, and again, remember, you know, we got 2 of the top 5 home run hitters in the league. That makes a difference. You know, Naylor is never going to, I mean, Naylor can be a guy, you know, like last year, you know, there's going to be times when he was on the Guardians and the Diamondbacks where he could hit like 20, 25 home runs, but you're not going to see, you know, 40 home runs out of Josh Naylor, you know. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 8th. Where are we at on the likes and the donos right now? Next up, 0 for 1 with a run and 2 base on balls, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI and a K, J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Flying Monk with a tenner. Appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, my guy. 6-0 Mariners. Hopefully we have games like this on the regular. For Joel Dahman. Okay, I got you. First pitch to Polo on the 1-0 count, in play, and flight out to left, 1 away. Come on, Polo, work the count a little bit. Next up is Dominic Canzone here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-0 Mariners with 1 out. First pitch to Dominic Canzone, in play, and a single right up the middle. Nice hit there by Dom. And at some point, we want that Dom bomb, but we'll take singles all day. Nice job. Next up is JP Crawford. Let's go, JP. First pitch from Carvello to JP Crawford, takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count. I mean, I would love to have Naylor and Gino long term. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have them, and obviously, age will be a factor, based on the money and whatnot. But sometimes, it's about the vibes, And again, it's like you felt pretty good when Naylor was on the team, but he single-handedly isn't going to win games for you by himself, But with Gino, he could. I mean, there's not many guys that can hit 4 home runs in a game. He did it. And obviously we saw Nick Kurtz have one of the best games of all time, going 6 for 6 with 4 dingers. But I love me some Naylor, though. Don't get me wrong. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 6-0 Mariner lead. Two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Carvello to JP Crawford. Three-two pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes JP, 2 away. And we're not going to be able to ask too much out of JP. Him just getting 1 hit is exactly, completely fine. It's much better than going 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And then once he's able to get a hit a game, in back-to-back games, then maybe a 2-hit game, for a guy that, is kind of going through it lately. And he just had a new baby as well. And, going from being the leadoff guy to the 9-hole guy, back to the leadoff guy, now getting demoted to the 8-hole. You just got to be able to understand your role on the team and not let any ego get in the way, and just understand that, you can help us win, even if you're in the 8-hole. First pitch to Cole Young, and pops up to third, and that is out number 3. End of the 8th inning. Let's go to the top of the 9th. Rangers need 6 to tie, 7 to win. And I assume that we'll be bringing out, Munoz or Brash here, and we'll just mow them down. Kirby, Ferguson, Thornton. Beautiful. What a game. The vibes are up. See if we can get a couple photos here for Flying Monk. Instead of going for wine, he's going for a golfer today. Love it. Shined with a 61 for the clubhouse lead, huh? Fires a 61 to take the Wyndham Championship lead. So I'm going to get one more for you. Appreciate you. Top of the ninth inning, 6-0 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Oh, they got Trent Thornton still out there. That's how confident they are. They want to end up winning 3 out of 4 or go for the sweep if we can get to that point. All right. First pitch from Thornton to Seager. Fouls it off high and away. 0-1 count. Shows you how confident they are in this bullpen now with Gino and Naylor added to this lineup in Ferguson. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Corey Seager. One pitch, big swing and a miss on Seager. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Thornton to Seager. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away, and a punch out on Corey Seager by Thornton. Wow. Trent's feeling himself. 1 away. First pitch from Thornton to Simeon. Grounds out to JP. Throw to first. And that is 2 away. We're 1 out away from victory, baby. Next up is Adolis Garcia. We should be able to get him to pop up and fly out, and it'll be a shutout. And not only a shutout, but a 6-0 shutout, hopefully, here. It just feels like everything has changed. You know, we're missing a few pieces, and now like the bullpen is confident. You know, guys that were struggling have a little bit of, a little get up in their step. You know, it just feels like the fans are on board, you know, and the management is on board. It's a good feeling to be a Seattle Mariner fan moving forward from 2022 and, you know, going the next 10 to 20 years. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Thornton to Garcia. Yeah, but Thornton gave up, 5 home runs in the first 15 games, but since he's come back, he's not trustworthy. Vargas and him and Legomina and Snyder. But the thing is that if you end up, having this kind of run support and you're not down 6-0 and you're up 6-0, you're going to feel a little bit more energy from the crowd and obviously a little bit more confidence by those, guys in the pen that we normally don't trust. And some of them are going to be guys eventually that we might trust half of the time instead of not at all. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Thornton to Garcia. Two pitch, low and away with the 4-seam fastball. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with a runner, nobody on, and 2 outs. 6-0 Mariner lead. Most talented player on the Mariners that we would be willing to trade? Carlos Vargas, Dylan Moore, Donovan Solano, Mitch Garver. Those guys aren't really quote-unquote talented, but guys that we would love to get rid of. 3-2 pitch. And Thornton is late, and that turns into a single. And hopefully Thornton is okay. Thornton is down. Is he injured? He's hobbling, and he's down. Grabbing his ankle. Uh-oh. Well, it's not like he was one of our good pieces. Luckily, that wasn't Brash or Bizardo or Munoz there. Imagine if that was Munoz. That would have been really bad. So maybe it was a blessing to have Thornton in there in that situation. But now he's on his back, and now you got almost half of the team around him. Hopefully it's nothing broken or fractured there. Oh, a winter blockbuster deal? Oh, I don't know. We got to think about right now instead of thinking about a blockbuster deal. We're trying to win the World Series or get to the World Series. First, we're trying to win the division. Then we're trying to get first place there. And then after that, took a kind of an awkward step off the mound and fell down off that broken bat from Adolis Garcia, but hopefully he's okay. But definitely stepped awkwardly off the mound trying to cover first base and fell to the ground. Thornton really not the most athletic of the bunch. But again, we're trying to win the AL West. We're trying to get to the ALDS. If we have to get a wild card, we get a wild card, and they're getting the card for him. Wow. So thankfully that wasn't fucking Brash or Munoz. But again, Thornton is, I don't want to say he's injury prone, but again, he had an injury early in the year, and it's not like we're going to miss any sleep if Thornton is not able to play for a month. And I wish him the best. I hope he is okay. But, luckily that wasn't Mooney or Brash or Bizardo. I think if we were going to get rid of a good player, I would say the only player that is good, or above average most of the time that I would be okay getting rid of is Luis Castillo. Because at some point, again, even though he's been pretty good as of late, and he's had maybe a little bit of a resurgence this year, he was good in 2022 when we got him. We made the playoffs. 2023 and 2024, his stats started to decline. And then in 2025, he had a little bit of a rebirth. And again, some games he's going to be good. Other games he's going to look like shit. But I think that's probably the most talented player that I would be okay getting rid of, just because we have Bryce Miller, Logan Evans, Cade Anderson, Gerangelo, and other guys that could fill in the gap for one spot. So I think that would probably be the player that I would be okay based off his age and his skill set, that if we had to get rid of him, that would be okay with me, And again, if we could get anything for Dylan Moore, Mitch Garver, Donovan Solano, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting rid of some of those pieces either. And now we got Legomina in the game. Yeah, it looked like something with the ankle, but it could have been a leg, overall. He wasn't really grabbing the knee or the Achilles. It was really more the ankle. And at first glance, I thought, did the bat, when it broke, did it hit him? Or did he get line drive with the baseball? No, he just, was trying to cover first. And then when he went off the mound, he kind of stepped awkwardly and then he fell. So I don't think it's like an ACL tear or anything like that. But again, they'll probably do some kind of MRI and check, to see what's going on in there and whatnot. But I assume twisted ankle, but we'll figure out, tomorrow morning, we'll get some more information on that. And obviously he's kind of top heavy. He's not like a skinny pitcher. He's kind of bulky. So obviously him trying to cover first, it's not like he's going to be able to run quickly. So, but I wish the best for him and hopefully he's okay. We got Sam Haggerty in the box for possibly the last out once we come back from commercial. What a great game, man. Top of the ninth, runner at first with 2 outs, 6-0 Mariner lead, and we want to cut out. We don't want them to score even one. First pitch from Legomina to Haggerty, high and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, but based on his age and where he's at, again, we don't really know what Bryce Miller is going to be looking like moving forward, but just based off his youth, you would have to choose him over. And obviously, Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, we're not touching those guys. Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock are more AAA pitchers. And obviously, Durangelo and Cade are not ready yet. So I guess if I had to choose one guy out of the staff, that actually has some kind of value, it would probably be Castillo. So just for the fact that we have Cade and some others that could step in immediately whenever that time is right. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. 3 balls and 1 strike to Sam Haggerty. 3-1 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first and 2 outs. Legomena on the mound, who typically is, good and bad. And we'll see what we get here. And former Mariner Sam Haggerty in the box. Well, yeah, I'm trying to do every game. The only games that I'm going to miss are, WWE PLEs like SummerSlam and WrestleMania. But, my goal is to do, 155 out of 162 games. And if I'm going to end up missing a game a month during the season, it'll only be because of a WWE, live stream, for a pay-per-view, PLE. 3-2 pitch, and Haggerty strikes out looking, and that is the game, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Gino and his impact. Let's go. One of the most satisfying wins and debuts for a player that we've ever seen. He didn't even need to homer for us to have this kind of impact. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Texas Rangers 0. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, let's go. Anything I can get, Captain, Kevin, Six Face, Flying Monk, let me know. If there's anything that I can do photo-wise, let me know. We're only 4.5 games back, baby. Again, all we need is the Astros to hit a little bit of a wall. We get hot. And again, we understand the Astros are good. The Blue Jays are good. Yankees and Tigers are reeling a little bit, but again, with 5 teams, really being the main contenders, Astros, Mariners, Blue Jays, Yankees, and then obviously the Tigers. Obviously Red Sox and Yankees are pretty close in record right now, but they're kind of inconsistent. They're up and down, in the division, but depending on how long Aaron Judge is out and if he has a reoccurring injury, that could be the difference between the Yankees actually being a contender or possibly being a pretender that still makes the playoffs. But I like our chances. And again, the Gino effect is real. 6-0 Mariners. Beautiful. And again, winning 3 out of 4 or a sweep, it shouldn't be that out of the question, especially with the team that we have now with the addition of Naylor, Ferguson, and Eugenio Suarez. Big facts. Anything else I can get photo-wise? I got to take my up on a long victory walk. And again, we'll be live tomorrow. Going to be able to go to one of these arcades in the early afternoon and spend time with my best friend, since I work pretty much 7 days a week. I don't really have a whole lot of time, but I'm going to get back about an hour before the game starts tomorrow, and I've already made the thumbs in advance, so we'll be good to go. So we're going to be playing at 7:10 Pacific. And again, tomorrow's matchup will be Leiter, who's 7-6 with a 4.09 ERA for the Rangers. And then we got Logan Gilbert tomorrow on the mound, 3-4 with a 3.36 ERA. So definitely excited, not only about tomorrow, but then obviously the weekend we have SummerSlam, day 1 and day 2, and the Mariners play at 1:10 Pacific on Saturday and Sunday. So there's a chance that I might be able to do both events. I'm not really sure if I want to sit in a chair for 7 hours straight on Saturday and Sunday, but we will see. You know, again, I love WWE. SummerSlam is usually one of the best PLEs of the year, like WrestleMania and Royal Rumble. So I'm kind of intrigued. But this Mariner team has got me a little bit more intrigued than SummerSlam. I like the card. You know, there are some, kind of suspect matches that have been sprinkled in there. Like, I don't think anyone wants to fucking see Logan Paul or fucking Jelly Roll, on a 2-on-2. Again, like WWE is really reaching for getting people that are like entertainers and singers and rappers and shit like that. With the whole Travis Scott and now with Jelly Roll and Logan Paul, being from YouTube and whatnot. But Logan can wrestle and he can, talk shit. But I don't know. Like, I think Jelly Roll is awesome. He's got a great story, coming from nothing and making it. But does Jelly Roll really deserve a match on SummerSlam? Give me a break. If you want to have him on Raw, fine. But they're reaching a little bit and they're, they've sold out. It's like they got advertising on the turnbuckles, on the aprons. Like, what's next? Like, on the actual wrestling gear, like, on their tights, they're going to have like Pepsi or whatever. Like, maybe one day that's what we're going to see, but it's kind of getting annoying with all the branding, because people are so thirsty for money from advertisers and whatnot. But I'm still looking forward to SummerSlam, and I am looking forward to watching this Mariner team kick ass and take names. And hopefully we can make a deep run in 2025. All right, looks like everyone is good to go. So I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to All Day and Captain for coming in and helping out with the, lead mod duties. I appreciate that very much. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Texas Rangers 0. A shutout on Gino's first game with the Mariners, and the impact is real. Love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Tridents up, go Mariners.